Today we are going to be talking about bees and ants and how they protect to survive. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden sting? That's right. Zipping past your petunias is one of the most dangerous animals in America. One you might see every summer day. It kills more people in the U.S. than any other venomous animal. Yet, most of us are happy to see it fly by because without it, we would not have such lovely petunias after all. And what is this bold creature? None other than the honeybee. There are many different types of bees. Many spread pollen to help our gardens grow, like this honeybee shown here. Some, such as carpenter bees, are solitary. They nest in burrows or holes that the females carve in dead wood. The bees that we're most familiar with are bumblebees and honeybees, and they live communally, which means they live with other bees in a colony. Each colony has a strict social structure. But before we get into that, I want to show you that we're going to fill out a table today that tells how bees protect themselves and in turn helps them to survive. As I'm reading about the bees, I'm going to revert back to this chart to talk about things that I've learned. These are coming from the Venoms pages 16 and 17. Each colony has a strict social structure. The queen produces eggs, the female workers take care of the hive, they perform tasks such as gathering pollen and nectar, making honey, fighting off intruders, and building and repairing cells out of wax to store food and house the larvae, which are the young. The males, called drones, they don't work at all, nor can they sting. They mate in midair with the queen and then die shortly afterwards. So I'm going to go fill out my chart about some things that I've learned so far. I haven't really found anything that helps me to know bees protect themselves, but I have found that there is only one queen per hive, and that the female workers take care of the hive. However, the drones, the males, they don't work at all. Almost all bees are vegetarians, living on nectar and pollen from flowers. They use their venom strictly to protect themselves or their colonies. Hey, that's something that I can add. They use their venom, and this helps them to survive because it helps to protect the colony. Oddly enough, there are some stingless bees, which have no venom at all and are the only meat eaters of this family. They live on carrion, which is another name for rotting flesh, and other animal material instead of pollen, and they're nicknamed the vulture bees. So I'm going to add that to my chart. There are stingless bees. The bee stinger has developed over time from what once was its ovary posterior, which is its egg-laying tube. In all but one species, the honeybee's stinger is barbed to hook and remain in the victim and to keep pumping venom. As the bee flies away, the insect's abdomen tears and the bee soon dies. Sometimes its victim dies too, especially if many bees have stung it. So now I can go back to my chart. The bee's stinger is barbed. This helps them to survive because it stays in the victim to keep pumping poison into them. I also need to add in my other facts that bees die after they sting. When workers near a hive sense danger, the bees give off an alarm pheromone, which is a chemical signal that they can detect. This alerts all the hive's inhabitants, and they become ready to attack if necessary. If any of them do strike, the glands responsible for producing the alarm pheromone detach with the stinger and keep giving off the signal to attack. So that's another way bees help protect themselves. They give off an alarm pheromone, which helps the bees to survive because it alerts the other bees to get ready to attack. I know this very well, so when I get into my hive, I always crack the lid a little bit and then wait, because then the bees have time to settle back down. This is also why some beekeepers smoke their bees. Bee stings are painful for a reason. American entomologist Justin O. Schmidt feels that pain is responsible for the insect's survival. The pain of the sting fools a predator into thinking that the bee has caused more serious damage than it actually has, and thus the victim will avoid it in the future. So I'm actually going to add that to my chart as well. Bees protect themselves by giving a painful sting, and this helps bees survive because it makes attackers remember to stay away. It's certainly true that although it hurts a lot, the venom from a single sting is not strong enough to kill most animals, including humans, unless you're allergic to the venom. Some sources say that as many as 4 people in 1,000 have systematic reactions to bee stings. When allergic people are stung, they can go into anaphylactic shock. Their whole bodies react so badly that they may stop breathing. To survive, they need an epinephrine shot, followed by a trip to the doctor or emergency room. There are kits with epinephrine syringes available for people with this allergy. The high number of allergic people, plus the fact that bees and humans are common neighbors, explains why these insects are dangerous. You are now going to listen about ants, and you will fill out a chart about ants like I just filled out about bees. Feel free to pause the video at any time you hear a fact that helps you to answer how ants protect themselves, or how it helps the ant to survive, or any other facts that you find interesting about ants. What's a picnic without sandwiches, chips, lemonade, and venom? Who's bringing the toxins? Ants, of course. Ants are members of the same order as bees and wasps. But while some bees and wasps are solitary, ants, on the other hand, are always social. Their nests are found underground, in trees, and in buildings. Some species live in large, well-ordered colonies that may number in the millions. Colonies may even join together to form super colonies, covering a wide area of land. Female workers are wingless. Males and young queens have wings, and among many colonies during mating season, they fly out to establish new nests and colonies. Then the wings drop off or they're pulled off. Ants are found in grasslands as well as deserts, temperate woodlands, and rainforests. Most of them are harmless, such as little black ants that evade our picnics and our houses for food. But some species use their rear ends to sting or spray, and nobody wants to picnic around them. Ants that sting. In America, the nastiest of these stingers may well be imported fire ants. Fire ants arrived in the U.S. by hitching rides on ships from South America. They build big mound nests, 2 feet wide and up to 3 feet high, in fields and lawns. They are especially fond of golf courses. Worker ants exit from tunnels that they can extend as much as 10 yards from the mound. They're omnivorous, and they will use their venom to paralyze or kill many kinds of small ground nesting animals for food. They also aggressively defend their nests. When an enemy threatens, a fire ant will clamp on with its jaws and spin in a circle, stinging over and over with its rear end. A single fire ant's stings causes itchy, burning blisters, but they're usually not deadly. However, when one ant stings, its alarm pheromones alerts the other ants, which come rushing out of the ground. No animal wants to face a whole colony of 200,000 stinging ants. Now that you've heard about ants, please go to the chart and fill out at least 3 things in each section.